Hi, I'm Emma, and in my psychology class, we have been learning about myths and methods. Some of the myths we talked about in class, such as absence makes the heart grow fonder, I used to believe. What I realized as we talked about these myths was that just because one person feels like absence makes the heart grow fonder, doesn't mean you can apply it to everyone. There are some people that you might think that you are more fond of their absence than of them. That is why they are considered myths. There are other myths, though, that do make more sense, such as opposites attract. In science, molecules attract to each other. I think people have thought that this works with people too. But what people don't realize is that even though we are made up of molecules, we need to find someone who is similar to us more than different. We enjoy hanging around people who we have more things in common with than not. The myth that we are being taught in school is that we all have different learning styles, such as one person may be a visual learner and another may be more of a listener. Yes, we all have to learn different ways, but all of the learning styles go hand in hand with each other, and that is what teachers don't understand or don't realize. I had not heard of all of the myths we talked about during class, but it's interesting to think of the things people used to and some still do believe. Cell phones have become an important tool and almost a necessity in our society today. There is a lot of discussion about cell phones distracting people from their surroundings, but the debate continues to be how much. For this reason, the myth I decided to study is out of sight, out of mind. Growing up, my mom would tell me that if you can't see it, you won't think about it. This might be true in some cases, such as my mom hiding candy from me when I was younger, knowing that if I was focused on something else, then I would forget about the candy. With cell phones, it is on a bigger scale because of how much they are used today. If you were to take someone's cell phone away out of sight, it would help them to concentrate because it would supposedly be out of mind. Therefore, the study I'm proposing is to try and determine how much of an impact cell phones can be. It would be an observational study because I would be studying the way students act and perform in a classroom setting, either with their phones or without their cell phones. I would choose 2 classes on the same subject, taught by the same teacher. Thus, the educational level in each class would be similar. One class would get to have their phones and be able to use them for anything, anytime they want. The other class would have to turn in their phones at the beginning of class, and they would be put in a location so they would be out of sight and also out of sound in case they went off. The independent variable is the cell phones, and the dependent variables are the social interaction and test scores. Intervening variables would be the intelligence and motivation of students, and if some students don't have a phone to begin with. My research would be able to be generalized because you could apply the same testing procedure in a variety of settings. The Hawthorne effect would be a bias, because if the students know they are being watched, then they will most likely act different if they weren't. The time limit on this study would be a school semester. After the semester is over, the last thing I would do is look at the test scores to see if there is any significant difference between the students who had access to their phones and those who did not. I would then ask the students in each class to write down as many classmates' names as possible. While this isn't without variables due to previous social interactions, it would be a way to test and determine the students' awareness to their social surroundings. This study could help show whether the influence of cell phones can distract us from being better students, as well as the impact they might have with our social interactions. That's all I got. Bye.